whole.
The opinions expressed in the following programs are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers Cable or Rogers TV.
Welcome to Modern Business, the show that bridges the gap between the viewer and the entrepreneur or market maker. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and today we are joined by Lauren Power. Lauren has a reflexology and wellness business based in Uxbridge and the surrounding areas. Welcome to the show, Lauren.
Thank you so much, Taylor.
So in your own words, what is Lauren Power Reflexology and Wellness?
So reflexology and wellness, to me, what I feel most passionate about is helping support people's healing journeys in a holistic way. So I combine reflexology with crystals, healing, and Reiki, just to offer a lot of support for people to really find that soul deep joy and fulfillment and true healing that so many of us need today.
Absolutely. And that's very broad, but also niche. How did you get started in this?
It's sort of a long story. Basically, it starts with my own healing journey.
Okay.
And, even when I started as young as a child, I remember having major depressive episodes and dealing with a lot of mental health issues, and they would come and go throughout my life, and it wasn't until I sort of came across this holistic minded healing and these different holistic modalities that really kind of kick-started my own personal growth and my own healing, and I was seeing how effective it was for myself, that it just kind of grew into a passion that I wanted to help other people with the things that have so helped me.
So I guess you could say you did it through a little bit of self-exploration, but is there also a qualification or certification to these avenues to then practice it?
Oh, for 100%. Yeah, so I started back in 2015. I took
Okay.
my 2 Reiki levels to become a Reiki practitioner. And then after that, I actually traveled to Australia where I took a holistic lifestyle coaching program.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a really incredible experience, and it really encompassed, movement, the importance of daily movement and exercise, nutrition, all from the holistic viewpoint. And then after that, that's when I went to a spiritual and wellness retreat, and they had a reflexologist there, and she was just so incredible, and I so enjoyed my treatment that that's when I was like, you know what, I really want to do this as more than just my own journey. I feel really called to do this for others. So from there, I had to take an anatomy and physiology prerequisite program to qualify for the reflexology diploma program. So that was almost 2 years of in-class study and examination and case studies.
Okay.
And then I came out with my certification for reflexology.
So has this always been your career? Did you kind of come out of the gate in maybe high school or something and say this wellness industry is going to be where I'm going to land? Or is this a newer kind of transition since your own self-exploration?
That's interesting because I think I always sort of knew. When I was in university, that's when I sort of really felt like this is something I wanted to do.
Okay.
But it took me a really long time to kind of make that leap and really sort of narrow down exactly how I wanted to show up in this field and what I wanted to offer. And I think there's like a lot of fear there too that you don't want to admit at the time, or maybe you're not even aware enough to admit at the time. That was sort of holding me back from fully jumping into it. I also love to travel, so
Okay.
for a long time I kept jobs that enabled me to easily travel. And then it wasn't until actually the pandemic that it really made me, I think as a lot of people can relate, take a step back and be like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity now to figure, like you've just lost your job,
Right.
your industry is going to be probably shut down for a really long time, because I was in hospitality
Okay.
and working at a restaurant. So it was sort of like, you know what, maybe take this as an opportunity to really figure out what you want to do. You've talked about doing this for such a long time. Maybe this is the time. So that was, it's only been really recently that I've decided to take my qualifications and start building a business and a clientele.
So initially, did you get the qualifications for your own self-discovery, not even thinking at the time when you were getting qualified that this was going to be a career? Or was it all just organically ramping up to this is going to be my career?
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. I think it's definitely started as a personal exploration and things that I was adding just into my own life to help me and my journey. But then I think I just always knew in the back of my mind that this is really what I wanted to do. It just kind of took me some time to get there. So I kept kind of I love to learn, and when something kind of catches me, like this field really caught me, it really kind of lit this fire inside of me. So I think I sort of always knew, but it really did kind of organically unfold until it sort of hit a point where I was like, you know what, this is the time to do it.
And you know, it's a great time to start that, especially at the beginning of COVID, because there were a lot of people that probably needed that additional support from you. So there was an opportunity for you there to get the clientele to then help others. But let's talk a little bit about the verticals. So you've got the reflexology. Talk to us a little bit about what that is and why you're doing it.
So I absolutely love reflexology. It's a really ancient practice. It has roots in China, like 2500 BC. But it's essentially the understanding that we make each sole of our foot contains over 7,000 nerve endings, and those nerve endings are connected to every part of the body, every organ, every system, and so that basically the soles of our feet create this like perfect map of the body. And yeah, so it's really interesting, and they run along these meridians or energy pathways in the body. And so what reflexology is able to do, because by stimulating and working over those nerve endings, we're able to offer energy, support, healing, boosting circulation through all of these areas that are internal, so much harder to get to, in a really relaxing and therapeutic way. So it's like a really beautiful therapy. It's incredibly relaxing, and it gets the body into what's called a parasympathetic state, which is sort of paramount to the deep healing that the body can do. We have so much power within us to heal ourselves. So when the body's able to get to that really relaxed state, that's when it can really freely gather energy and send it to where it is most needed. Wow. So yeah, reflexology is also enables the body to get to that state so it can kickstart its own innate healing mechanisms.
And for somebody who is going to you for reflexology treatment, the thing that initially comes to mind is, you're going to have to touch my feet. Is there kind of a cleaning ritual or something you're supposed to do before that happens? You know, what's the protocol when somebody goes in to experience reflexology for the first time?
I know a lot of people are really fearful. They don't like the idea of someone touching their feet. So I think people have a lot of embarrassment about their feet, but honestly, like, nothing can faze me. What I do is a sort of a detox foot bath. So I use a blend of Epsom salt, Himalayan pink salt, and essential oils. And I allow the feet to soak in that. It's really relaxing and helps draw toxins out of the body while also cleaning the feet and kind of preparing them for the treatment as well.
Got it. So if anybody's nervous about that, they can go in, rest assured that there is a protocol to help cleanse them, if you will, before you get started in the treatment.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's one vertical of what you do. Talk to us a little bit about the Reiki.
So Reiki, it is energy healing, and it's the channeling of really pure life force energy into the body. And what it offers the recipient is basically clearing out any stagnant energy that may be lingering. It really helps detoxify. It does help boost circulation as well. And it also helps balance and align the chakra system within the body. And the chakras are basically our energy centers. And they influence, as well as they're influenced by everything: our physical, mental, emotional, energetic, even lifestyle, environmental, cultural, like social, all of those factors influence the chakra systems. So Reiki can help balance those, clear out any stagnant energy that help us basically from a really deep level in every layer of our being to get to a really optimal, just basically achieve really optimal health and well-being.
Results and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I guess the last vertical would be your holistic wellness coaching. So describe to us what exactly that is.
So that, basically when people come for a treatment, you know, a lot of people whether it's scheduling or finances. Don't do it as maybe frequently as would be necessary, whereas what I like about coaching is it enables people to sort of take home things that we've worked on together and implement them into their day-to-day life so that they can be more consistent and see more consistent results. So I haven't really offered too much in the way of coaching services as of yet. That's sort of my next step that I really want to do. But just having that background and having that knowledge really helps me just with the services I currently offer, being able to really tailor what I'm doing to their specific needs and requirements at that time.
So let's talk about the services that you offer. Because you're diverse and you have your different verticals and offerings, is it kind of an all-in-one? Somebody walks in and you assess what you can offer them to better them, or do they come in and say, I want reflexology today or Reiki tomorrow kind of thing?
Yeah, basically I leave it up to the person.
Okay.
Usually I always suggest maybe just starting, if you're not sort of into the energy work, start with just a classic reflexology treatment, and that can be done as well if you really are against someone touching your feet or are really ticklish. It can be done on the hands as well. So yeah, I just really encourage people to come. I always have a consultation with my clients, and I go from there. You know, then for their next appointment, I can suggest, you know, let's just stick with the classic reflexology, or you know what, I think you could benefit from the crystal healing and the Reiki as well.
And do you find that a lot of people come in for one vertical of your business and end up dabbling in the other and have their eyes opened up once they're experienced to it?
Yeah, I do find that a lot. You know, I really like to talk to my clients, and you know, even with a classic reflexology treatment, at the beginning I just do a little light Reiki on the head and the shoulders just to help kind of get the treatment started in a really relaxing way. And some people are really curious and ask me more about that, and or see my crystals out and kind of ask me about how that works. And then the next time they might implement that into their service.
Okay. And with the holistic Reiki reflexology vertical of things, I imagine you have some naysayers who say, you're just waving your hands around somebody's head and waving a crystal. Is this really healing? What's your combat to that?
Yeah, I love that question, because I think that, you know, holistic and alternative medicine does not seek to completely do away with conventional traditional medicine. For me, it's all about, you know, a marriage, like bringing the two together, because we are a multi-layered being. We are physical, you know, we also mental, emotional, we are energetic, you know, everything has energy. So to be able to offer Reiki and reflexology and these different modalities that are maybe a little bit, different for some people, it truly is backed by research and like also scientific study as well. And it just, to me, makes sense, because as a person, we are so interconnected. Our body is so intimately intertwined, and everything affects us, you know? I think a lot of people are realizing that, just how much all of these different factors in our day-to-day life truly affect our health and well-being at a really deep level. So being able to do these really relaxing and non-invasive treatments and therapies are a beautiful way for people in this really stressful world to de-stress and just really enjoy. And if that's really, at the end of the day, all you believe or all you get from it, to me, that's okay too, you know, because we need that. We need that time of self-care. We need that time to just kind of disconnect, and we need that time of really deep relaxation, and that will still have immense benefits whether you are really open to all the deeper stuff behind it or not.
Awesome. Lauren, this has been awesome. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this break.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
I'm Rob MacArthur, host and producer of Helping Durham Region. Join me as we shine a spotlight on how Durham Region residents help each other. That's Helping Durham Region right here on Rogers TV.
I still remember the games, the laughter, the footsteps through the hallway. I'll never forget the hard times.
Every day I come back from work, it's always like this. We're yelling in front of the kids.
The help we needed. How far we've come.
This is Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Modern Business, the show that bridges the gap between the viewer and the entrepreneur or market maker. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and we are back with Lauren Power from Lauren Power Reflexology and Wellness. Now, Lauren, before the break, we were kind of talking about the verticals that you offer and what each vertical is. But I see that you've brought some crystals here. So I thought we could talk about what the crystals do and how you utilize them in your practice.
Yeah, for sure. So crystals are, they're beautiful to look at, obviously, but what's really unique about them is they each have their own specific properties. And because their energetic frequency is really stable, whereas ours really fluctuates, it is able to, when held close or utilized in some way, elevate our own energetic frequency to that really similar that's really similar to theirs.
Okay.
So that's how they sort of work, and that's how their energy sort of intermingles with our own and helps us kind of mirror their qualities. So each crystal is really unique and has its own sort of different uses and, like I said, different properties. Okay. We have the purple ones there are the amethyst.
Okay.
They're a really relaxing crystal. They're great for meditation or if someone's feeling really stressed. I have a large quartz cluster there, the white,
okay.
And that's known as a master healer. So it's really good for a multitude of issues, as well as really bringing everything into alignment. All of our layers, as well as really balancing our chakra systems as well.
Okay.
The one that's sort of there is called labradorite, and it sort of looks black-gray, but when it catches the light, you'll see it's really beautiful. It has different shades of blue, and that's one of my favorite crystals. It's almost, I like to say it's kind of like a mystical sort of crystal. It's really aligned with intuition and developing your own intuitive abilities.
Very cool.
Yeah, as well as for someone who's maybe unsure of their direction in life or what their sort of purpose or potential is, that's also a good one to help you dial into that as well.
Okay, now how do you absorb the energy from the crystals? Do you have to be holding them, or is it just kind of having them close to you while receiving treatment? How does that energy transfer work?
Yeah, so it differs for crystal to crystal, as well as sort of what your aim is with them. Crystals work just on their own. You can set them up in a room even to help draw certain energies into your home or into that space. You can place them on the body to help really
Align you?
Yeah, exactly. Like really bring that into that specific area of the body. I also do what's called crystal gridding, which works with sacred geometry, which is sort of placing the crystals in different patterns to sort of amplify their energy. And it really, you can set that up near a person. You can set it up, like I said, in a space, and that helps draw specific frequencies in as well. And that just has to be kind of set up nearby.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So, you know, how do you even know about crystal geometry? Where does that even come from?
Yeah, so sacred geometry is basically, it's almost, I like to say it's like the blueprint for all of creation, you know, and these sacred symbols are what are the building blocks of life and everything in our physical existence. They can be as simple as a triangle or a square, or more complicated and multi-layered as well, drawing in lots of different shapes into sort of a cohesive pattern. And it just all helps really amplify the energy and really draw in the specific frequencies that you're sort of needing or requiring at that time. So they work really well in harmony together, using the crystal energy with this energy from the sacred geometry, and bringing them both together can just really bolster the effects of everything that you're trying to achieve.
That's incredible, because I think if I were to walk into a room where there were crystals everywhere, I would just assume that they were placed there because that's where you felt inclined to place them, not that there's an actual strategy behind it, if you will. So that's incredibly interesting. So when it goes to booking an appointment with you or having a session with you, what does that look like? Am I going to a studio in Uxbridge? Are you coming to my home? What does that look like?
So right now I'm actually working out of 2 spaces.
Okay.
I have a space in Uxbridge, and it's a beautiful space. It's out of Holly Morris Holistic Wellness, and that's where you can do reflexology with me, as well as crystal Reiki, and I also, like I said, love to combine the modalities. So I offer those sessions there in Uxbridge, and then I'm also working out of Lakeview Wellness, Health and Wellness in Port Perry, as well. And that's where I'm just offering classic reflexology.
Okay.
So if you'd like to book in Port Perry for just a classic reflexology treatment, you do that directly through Lakeview Health and Wellness. But to come to my own practice out of Uxbridge, I do have a booking link and website, as well as through my Instagram page as well. You can find all the information there.
So how do you market your business? Is it primarily through social media?
Right now, it's primarily through social media. I would like to potentially do more down the road, but to get started, social media is so powerful right now and has the ability to reach a lot of people.
And do you think that you're going to ever translate that into a website or maybe a more traditional marketing strategy, or do you think you'll stick with social media?
I would definitely like to have more of a professional website and email, because I'm offering now some workshops and events as well. So I'd like to be able to continue building that beyond just social media.
So are you an independent contractor, or are you contracted by these holistic wellness companies to work for them? How does it work?
Yeah, I'm an independent contractor, and they're contracting me, well, my own practice through Uxbridge, and then Lakeview Health and Wellness is contracting me to work with them.
So not only did you take the leap into the holistic wellness space, you also took a leap into becoming an entrepreneur on your own. What was that journey like, the business side of it for you?
That was really interesting because it was a whole new territory for me, and it takes time, to try and build up a clientele, and even with social media, it takes time to build up a following. It takes time to reach people and get that word of mouth going. It took a lot of time, but I'm so happy now to be where I am, and it's still growing and still evolving.
And what do you think your biggest challenge has been so far in starting your business?
I think basically getting my name out there, and building up that clientele, because it's great, we can use social media, but if you don't have a lot of followers yet, if you're just starting a brand new page or launching a new website, it's hard to get that in people's view.
Okay.
So I think that's been my biggest challenge, is just getting that word of mouth going and building up that clientele.
And how are you combating that?
Basically just by showing up consistently on my Instagram pages, as well as doing these events where I work alongside other practitioners who have different followings as well, and then we can together collaborate and have these shared experiences together, and as well as just through friends and family that are, and client testimonials, that's all helping build, because I think once people experience a treatment, I've noticed it kind of snowballs from there. They're so excited to let other people know how amazing it was.
I think word of mouth carries a lot of weight, especially for a holistic-based business, because the experience is different for everyone. So it's not exactly like you can tailor what to expect when you come kind of audience, because really it could be different for everyone. So client testimonials would be huge.
Yeah.
But I also noticed that you have a blog on your social pages. Is that strategic to help build your brand, or is that a personal outlet for you?
It started as a personal creative outlet. I love to write. I've always been a writer, and during the pandemic, you know, I needed something. I needed an avenue to really kind of get that, spark that joy and spark that passion again after, you know, the lockdowns and everything. So that sort of started with that, and then kind of alongside that I got this opportunity to really leap into my holistic wellness business. So I use it to build my brand now a little bit as well.
Okay.
But I do try to keep at the heart of it that it's sort of for me to follow some other things that bring me a lot of joy and fulfillment in my life.
And as somebody who's putting their energy out there to help others, right? You're creating content to help others, you have your business to help others. Do you ever experience any kind of fatigue with your own wellness journey at the same time? How do you find that balance?
That's a really good question. It's interesting because I do definitely can get really fatigued by doing a lot of energy work, but the flip side of energy work too is you receive a lot of benefits as the practitioner, you know, like even with reflexology, because our hands also contain similar nerve endings. Working over someone's feet also stimulates the nerve endings on my own hands, which can help me receive some of the benefit as well. And then with Reiki as well, you're channeling that energy through you and then out to the recipient. And so you also get some of that benefit as well of the energy going through you. So it's sort of giving less of your energy and channeling more of that universal energy. So that really helps for sure. But I am sort of an empath and I do like so care about my clients that I do sometimes get that fatigue because I tend to take on a lot from people.
And that was going to be my next question. Does the energy transfer work in reverse where you're absorbing some of that maybe potentially negative energy that they're coming to you to get rid of? Do you ever assume it yourself? Do you find that happening? I
try really hard to create a sort of a block, like an energetic block, and be really intentional and be very aware of that when I'm working with people. But sometimes I do find I need to come home and sort of meditate or use crystals to help draw off that energy, like any energy that I've taken on as the healer.
Now, do you have a trade tip for our audience today?
I'd say just if you feel a calling or if you feel a passion towards something, take the leap. And it doesn't have to be a massive leap. Honestly, what has helped me the most is breaking it down into really small, attainable steps and just kind of slowly working your way out. So I'd say really dial into what sparks joy and fulfillment in you and follow that thread, and don't sabotage it by trying to do it all perfectly. Just break it down and start small and just continue on every day.
Love it. Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Taylor.
This has been another edition of Modern Business. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and we'll be back next time.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Man, is there a lot of pressure on this young fighter here tonight.
Fighting is life.
This is my belt. I earned this in blood, paid in full. This is